Okay, so on this question, we have X up in the power zone. And so right away, you should think, oh, I'm going to need to do a log on both sides. That's the opposite of X in power. That's correct. That's the right way to think. So here, let me put in the wall of separation here. So yeah, so basically step number one, I'm going to do ln of both sides. Now, technically on this one, regular log would be a little better, a little easier, but I found that's confusing for students to switch back and forth. So ln will work. But if you know stuff, you might be looking, oh, Mr. Aaron, wouldn't a regular log be better if you've kind of done this kind of stuff for you? You're right, it would, but just to make life easier, I've noticed students prefer to do the same thing all the time. So ln will work. It'll work fine. So I'm just going to do the same thing every time. I'm just going to do ln of both sides. So I'm going to come in and go ln of both sides, even though regular log on this one. What? Why would regular log work better this one? Because the base is 10. Regular log has a base of 10. It's easier if you match them up, but whatever. This will work fine. I'll quit bugging you about that. So ln of both sides, and then what happens with that? The power drops down to the front, meaning this power right here drops down to the front. Remember that? That's the third property of logs, that powers drop down to the front. That's why this is so great. That's why logs are the opposite of powers. The powers drop down. So, all right, so what do we have then? We have minus x over 7 in the front of ln 10 equals ln 2. So that x is out of power now. That's a big deal. That's a big help to get that x out of the power zone and just down to the ground now. So now that's all step one, just ln both sides and the power drops down to the front. Now what do we do from here? Well, step two is solve for x. Easier said than done. There's a lot of steps involved, but that is basically what we're going to do now. So what would I do? What would I suggest first? I would suggest first to get rid of this ln 10. Boom, boom, like that. Probably the easiest thing to do, and then bring this down. Minus x over 7 equals, and then we have ln 2 over ln 10, like that. Okay, so we're getting close. Now what do we got to do to get x alone? Well, we got to get rid of this 7 and this negative sign, don't we? So what could we do, right? Because then x will be alone. So x is saying, get rid of this 7 that I'm dividing. So what's the opposite of dividing? Multiply, right? We're going to multiply to get rid of that 7. And we're going to multiply by negative 7. Why negative 7? Because two negatives will make a positive, won't they? And we'll have positive or just regular x. You tracking with me? That's what we don't want, a negative sign, right? If I didn't have this negative, then the negative would still be there. I don't want anything there. X says, I want to be totally alone. No negative sign, please. No nothing. To use bad English, not anything. Right? So we multiply both sides by negative 7. The two negatives make a positive. X is truly alone. Now what do? You just hit the buttons on your calculator. So you just say, oh, okay. So you just do ln 2. So this is the calculator now. Calculator. So you do ln 2 divided by ln 10 times negative 7 and hit equals. Just like that, hit the buttons. I'll do it right now. So ln 2 divided by ln 10 times negative 7. I'm getting negative 2.10720. So they we'll round to 4 places. It doesn't say exactly how many places, does it? Or does it say? Oh yeah, it does say 4. It does say 4. Okay. So 4th place is right there. This is a 0, so that means just leave it, right? Minus 2.1072. There it is, rounded to 4 decimal places. So recapping, what did we do? As soon as we see x in the power zone, we know we're going to have to do ln on both sides. So we do ln on both sides, the power drops down. That's step one. Then we just solve for x. So divide off the ln 10, multiply by -7. The two negatives make positive. The 7's over here canceled, right? I didn't even say it, but I'm assuming you knew it, right? Because that's 7 over 1, right? Any whole numbers over 1, those 7's cross canceled, didn't they? So x is alone. Hit the buttons on your calculator. There we go.